NEC Section 110.12 addresses specific requirements related to workmanship in neat and orderly manner. However, there is no specific section within the National Electrical Code, or NEC, that dictates a mandated ratio of journeymen to apprentices. The NEC focuses primarily on safe electrical installations and does not regulate staffing ratios. Individual states, local jurisdictions, or union agreements may have their own regulations regarding the supervision of apprentices by journeymen. To ensure compliance, it's essential to consult the specific rules and regulations in your area. However, it is important to understand the intent and application of NEC Section 110.12. This section, titled Mechanical Execution of Work, falls under Article 110, which covers requirements for electrical installations. While it doesn't specify ratios, it indirectly impacts the work of apprentices by requiring installations to be performed in a neat and workmanlike manner. Let's delve deeper into the implications of NEC Section 110.12. This section states that electrical equipment must be installed in a neat and workmanlike manner. This means that the installation should be visually appealing, professionally executed, and free from defects that could compromise safety or functionality. It also implies that qualified personnel perform the work. The importance of proper workmanship is emphasized throughout the NEC. Poorly executed electrical work can lead to a range of problems, including overheating, short circuits, ground faults, and even fires. The NEC requirements for proper workmanship are intended to prevent these issues and ensure the safety of people and property. Because NEC Section 110.12 calls for neat and workmanlike manner, it indirectly affects apprentice work by ensuring proper supervision. Apprentices are still learning the trade and may not have the experience or knowledge to perform all tasks independently. Therefore, it's essential that they work under the supervision of a qualified journeyman who can provide guidance and ensure that the work is performed correctly. The journeyman is responsible for overseeing the apprentice's work and ensuring that it meets the requirements of the NEC. In addition to ensuring proper workmanship, journeyman's supervision of apprentices also helps to maintain safety on the job site. Apprentices may not be fully aware of all the hazards associated with electrical work, so it's essential that they are supervised by someone who can identify and mitigate these hazards. The journeyman can also teach the apprentice about safe work practices and ensure that they are followed. The scope of the NEC, particularly Article 90.1, makes it very clear the code is concerned with the practical safeguarding of persons and property from hazards arising from the use of electricity. It is not a design specification nor an instruction manual for untrained persons. Since there is no specific ratio of journeymen to apprentices in the NEC, the appropriate level of supervision depends on the apprentice's experience and skill level, as well as the complexity of the task being performed. A more experienced apprentice may require less supervision than a less experienced apprentice. Similarly, a complex task may require more supervision than a simple task. In general, it's a good practice to provide apprentices with as much supervision as they need to perform their work safely and effectively. This may mean working closely with the apprentice on every task, or it may mean simply checking in on the apprentice periodically to ensure that they are on track. The key is to provide the apprentice with the support they need to succeed. Also, many states and local jurisdictions have their own requirements regarding the supervision of apprentices. These requirements may specify a minimum ratio of journeymen to apprentices, or they may simply require that apprentices work under the direct supervision of a qualified journeyman. It's important to be aware of these requirements and to comply with them. For example, some states may require that there be at least one journeyman for every 3 apprentices on a job site. Other states may require that apprentices work under the direct supervision of a journeyman at all times. The specific requirements vary from jurisdiction to jurisdiction, so it's important to check with the local authorities to determine the applicable regulations. Firstly, individual states and local jurisdictions often have regulations concerning apprentice supervision, including specific ratios. Secondly, union agreements may also dictate journeymen to apprentice ratios. Thirdly, the NEC indirectly addresses the work of apprentices by requiring installations to be completed in a neat and workmanlike manner. Fourthly, journeyman supervision ensures proper workmanship and safety on the job site. Fifthly, the appropriate level of supervision depends on the apprentice's experience and skill level, as well as the complexity of the task being performed. The National Electrical Code sets the standard for safe electrical installations. However, it does not explicitly state the ratios of journeymen to apprentices. While the NEC does not mandate this ratio, the NEC indirectly affects the work of apprentices through its requirements for neat and workmanlike installations. Proper supervision of apprentices by journeymen is essential for ensuring compliance with the NEC and maintaining safety on the job site. Always consult with the state and local jurisdictions or union agreements regarding apprentice supervision requirements. To reiterate, there is no single NEC section that specifies a ratio of journeymen to apprentices. Requirements are set on state, local, and or union level. However, it is critical that apprentices be supervised to ensure that they perform work in a neat and workmanlike manner to meet NEC 110.12.